Hello and happy birthday, those of you who are celebrating today. It is February 7th. I am MJ, and this is your Urban Crow Oracle birthday reading for today. And, of course, if you stumbled across this reading and it just resonated and it's not your birthday, well, I like to think that you were guided this way to get that message as well. But I am focusing right now on February 7th as I'm shuffling and I'm asking these crows to return with the information that will best serve those of you celebrating today. So I'm just going to clear my mind, clear the cards, and wait for these crows to come back. So, we start off with February 7. Okay. So, last year may have been all about observation. Observation comes in very handy because it gives us time to process our own thoughts, how we see ourselves within the situation. We can think, well, wow, this is how somebody managed that. Well, this is how I would probably manage that. And you get to kind of learn from other people and their experiences. Observation may have meant that last year you weren't really taking too much in the way of action, right? It would have been like a research year. It would have been a year for you to figure out the best course forward for you without necessarily committing to any one idea. This is a time of watching other people, paying close attention to body language, paying close attention to what's going on maybe with the markets, or paying close attention to what's happening in your own neighborhood. Observation brings with it a great deal of information that needs to be processed. And it's one of those things where, if you were to jump in, you might have missed something. But now, because you have this database of information that you obtained over the last year, you're able to make a more informed decision. And so this year coming up, something is going to be a distraction. So perhaps something that you were observing caught your eye last year a lot. Maybe it drew your attention and it interested you enough that it took you away from something else. So, if you were, if you're going into your day-to-day work and there was some level of just, dissatisfaction in your job, and you started watching other people. Maybe you gazed out the window a little too long, and you were watching other people who are outside enjoying the day while you're inside. It may have opened up this door for you to consider other things or other avenues that your life could take. And you might need to consider this year if you're allowing a distraction to take you away from your work or take you away from something that holds promise. It's like, I feel like these two cards together create the perfect scenario for falling into the trap of fantasy. You're observing how other people maybe are living their lives. You're observing all the other choices, perhaps, and that might have come into your awareness last year, right? You may have, maybe you had friends who all of a sudden got to work from home, or were taking wonderful vacations, or uprooting their families and moving across, the ocean to a new country. And maybe you started thinking about that for yourself, right? You started observing things that you may not have noticed before. And because of that, this year, it might be hard for you to shake those observations. You might be thinking more about, well, maybe I can do that too. Or, maybe this is something to consider for myself. And although you might not necessarily take action, right? If you take action, it's great because then it moves you into a new realm of possibilities and new experiences. Distraction doesn't do that. What distraction does, it keeps you in your head, right? It keeps you thinking about the things. It keeps you focused on something else without really addressing it. And so just like this dog here is being distracted by this crow, while the other one swoops in and steals its food, which is funny because if you watch crows, they'll do this. They're very clever. They know what they know how to work together, in pairs and in teams, and they understand their relationship to the activity, which I just find to be very fascinating. But anyway, like this poor dog here who's not noticing that its food is being depleted by this crow, you might not necessarily go after and chase after that thing either, right? You might be called away by something that sounds more alluring, right? Something that's holding your attention. So be aware this year. Be aware where you're not taking action. Be aware of the distractions that are coming in and that are preventing you from seizing an opportunity or preventing you from doing the work that needs to be done because it seems so much more entertaining, right? It might be really entertaining to spend an afternoon looking up places to stay, in a new foreign land, or how to move to a new foreign land. But unless you actually take proactive steps, all you're doing is fantasizing, and that in itself is a distraction. It's taking you away from the work that is providing for you in this moment, right, today. So you have to ask yourself, hey, is this something that I'm serious about? Is this really a distraction? When you look back at the observations that you made last year, right, were you fantasizing about all these things that other people are doing? Can you actually see yourself doing these things? Can you envision what life would be like so that you could take action when you're ready? But I just see like these two cards together is just a setup for falling into that trap of fantasy. So be aware this year. Be aware of all of those wonderful things that you observed last year, right? That caught your attention last year. Are they a distraction this year? So much love to you. Peace and happy birthday.